All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, and we got some big news coming down from Twitter from Jack D over on the tweet machine.
Oh, God.
He says he's... What, you didn't like that, Cody?
Jack D, the tweet machine. How about this? I got a better idea.
What?
All right, today, Jack from Twitter announced that he will be, or not he, but the platform of Twitter will be banning all political ads starting November the 22nd, which is, about 60, 80 days or so before we start taking in the first primary votes. Maybe a little bit longer, but still very close to the first primary for Democrats. So this honestly is going to have, I don't want to give too much away, but it might not have the impact on the primary some people think it will. It might have a bigger impact than we think. Who knows? Anyway, let's go through the facts right now. So, according to Jack himself, he says, "We've made the decision to stop all political advertising on Twitter globally. We believe political messages should be earned, not bought." Why? A few reasons. He says, internet advertising is incredibly powerful and very effective for commercial advertisers. That power brings significant risk to politics, where it can be used to influence votes to affect the lives of millions. Internet political ads present entirely new challenges to civic discourse. Machine learning-based optimization of messaging and micro-targeting, which is scary. Unchecked misleading information and deepfakes, also scary. All at increasing velocity, sophistication, and overwhelming scale. I don't agree that we should just ban them outright because of some scary things about them, but
okay,
that's not it. Keep going. Now, one of the things that's very interesting about this move from Twitter is that, notably, almost infamously now, Facebook has not held that same distinction. Actually, when pressed on it, I have a little excerpt here from an article by, I believe it's CBS News, where Mark Zuckerberg says, on Thursday, Zuckerberg revealed that Facebook had considered dropping political ads altogether, given that the controversy certainly isn't worth the small part of our business they make up. Wow, the Zuck, man. Just the way he talks.
That was like a cool hand Luke, self...
Exactly, yeah.
It's like one of those backhanded insults, like, oh, you're pretty cute for,
Yeah, well, it's also like diminishing,
whatever,
like, yeah, we don't need these. Anyway, though, he also says, I know many people disagree, but in general, I don't think it's right for a private company to censor politicians or the news in a democracy. One of the few times I will say, right on, Mark Zuckerberg, that is a good point. He said, adding that other major tech platforms have also run these misleading ads. Actually, it brings up an interesting idea here, where he says there are many more ads about issues than there are directly about elections. So will we ban all ads about healthcare or immigration or women's empowerment? And if we ban candidates' ads but not these, would that really make sense to give everyone else a voice in political debates except the candidates themselves? So really quickly, that is where kind of Facebook and Twitter, the two biggest social media platforms, stand on this. However, I want to take one last look before we get into kind of what this could mean and the implications of it, into some of the data behind it. Now, I have a graph here from a website called commondreams.org. I'm going to pull this up, and it gives an idea. This is last updated, I believe, through the 27th of July this year. So it's a few months old now, but you'll get an idea. This is 2020 Democrats' digital ad spending, and you'll notice the furthest right blue, they're all blue, but the Twitter blue line on the far right, that's Twitter spending. You'll notice Twitter spending doesn't exactly make up that large of a percentage, for the most part, of a candidate's ads spent on ads. So, now, it doesn't mean it's good that Twitter's banning them or not that bad, but I just want to put things in context that this hasn't exactly been, at least as of the 27th of July. Canada's has spent a lot on Twitter, don't get me wrong. It's just more has been spent elsewhere in a big way. Now, you'll notice one name's missing from this list, and that is Andrew Yang. So a couple of things I want to show you. Now, while Andrew Yang did applaud the move by Twitter in a tweet here, I'll move forward. I believe, as I check, let me know if I'm wrong, I've been checking through. I haven't seen any other candidate speak out on Twitter about this yet, just Andrew Yang for right now. And Andrew Yang said that he applauded Twitter's decision to ban political ads. It's the rare triumph of the public good over the bottom line. I hope Facebook follows suit, or at least verifies and stands by the accuracy of political ads on its platform. I disagree. But that was what Andrew Yang said. I just want to note out, while we don't have him on that graph, according to OpenSecrets.org, Andrew Yang has spent on media in this election, I want to say about $1.2 million. Of that $1.2 million he has spent on media, 960,000 of it has gone towards Facebook. Very interesting. Like
That's a lot. That's basically 9/12.
basically his
Which
media,
is 3 out of
yeah.
4 right there.
Like that's basically the media buys, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
through
hardcore.
Facebook. That's what it goes to. Again, I don't know if this is necessarily saying it's all media buys. Maybe he's buying data from Facebook. I don't know, but yeah, Facebook's where the money's going. So anyway, there's the facts. Candidates do spend money on digital ads. Typically speaking, it's with Facebook, not with Twitter. One of the reasons being Mark Zuckerberg is on the record saying, we thought about it, but we're not actually going to ban these ads. And I think a lot of candidates, I think me and Cardin, this is one of the few things that probably me, Cardin, Mark Zuckerberg, Elizabeth Warren, and Joe Biden agree on.
Yeah.
And that is that private platforms should not be censoring politicians and political speech. I agree with that. But fact of the matter is Twitter hasn't been the primary source, it seems, for political ad spending. However, their move to ban ads is interesting. Now, Card,
Yes.
I want to get your opinion on this, and then I want to talk a little bit why this might kind of uniquely benefit Andrew Yang, this move from Twitter. But first, so there's the facts. What do you think about all this news? What do you think about Twitter? Do you think it's a good idea? I think they should have done it? Or do you think it was a weak move by Twitter, a smart move by Twitter? What do you think? Everything considered.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that if you're the CEO of a company that's supposed to be making money, and I don't believe that every single question is an economic question. There's plenty of times where you have to make a moral decision that might impact your bottom line adversely. But at the same time, it's almost like a prohibition era question for me here. Just because you to say, I'm above the fray of political advertising, we're not going to allow that filter. I'm not saying that's even their thought process, but that money's just going to go somewhere else. It's not going to lessen the amount that politicians are going to pay. Because let's just say I'm running a $100,000 campaign for a local school board or for the city council, okay? Well, if I may have spent previously $10,000 on Twitter advertising and Twitter all of a sudden says, no, we won't allow commercials from political candidates. Well, that's kind of stupid because the candidate's now just going to dump 10 grand more into Google. So you're just literally giving money to a big tech competitor. Okay. And then the other thing is it's not going to stop people talking about the election because all of the followers of my candidacy are still going to be arguing back and forth on Twitter, and all of the opponents of my candidacy are still going to be arguing back and forth on Twitter. I mean, to be honest with you, the potential for misinformation, if that's really what we're all trying to curb is, foreign influence and misinformation because we still believe Russiagate was a thing. If that's what we're trying to curb is misinformation or impolite discourse or I don't know even what he said he's necessarily trying to curb concisely, but that money's just going to go elsewhere. To me, it just feels like an unnecessary self-handicap. Does that make sense, Cody? Like, I am honestly baffled by this decision.
Well, also now, I want to be 100% fair here to Twitter for no reason. Just
Okay.
because they have been having some other issues related to ads and their stuff. But I also want to add for context, according to NBC here, or this is NBC, right? CBS, I apologize. According to CBS here, Twitter shares, which traded flat in the day, fell 2% after Dorsey revealed the new policy minutes after the market closed. This is in the midst of an era where Twitter has, I believe in the last week or so, been trying to explain why they missed earnings marks again for the quarter. I mean, it hasn't been a good financial time for Twitter. So like you said, it really does not make a lot of sense why they'd give this money up. Again, I want to highlight, it's not exactly like things could have changed since that graph. That graph was updated the July 27th of this year. But by and large, candidates spend their money on Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg's more happy to take your money and run your ads than it seems that Twitter is. However, I want to kind of talk about one of the ways I think this uniquely benefits a candidate like Andrew Yang. Now, not all candidates. I think it's one of the reasons why Andrew Yang said, hey, great move, you guys. I'm really glad you did this. Like, The thing with Andrew Yang is he does really, really, really good with the Twitter crowd. Like, he owns Twitter, man.
He's a self-declared internet candidate.
Yeah, but whenever the Yang Gang wants to online, they'll pick something and just trend it. And it'll be trending top 10 in America for a couple hours every day.
Point.
I mean, Andrew Yang has a support base that can just do that. So Andrew Yang, I can see why Andrew Yang was like, oh, awesome. That free advertising I get, not only do I get the free advertising, my opponents can't pay for it. They literally can't buy what I get for free anymore because Jack Dorsey passed this rule. I can see why he loves it. Tulsi does good in Twitter. She might be happy with it. But candidates like Joe Biden and even Elizabeth Warren a little bit, that kind of need that money to grease their wheels and get people excited about them on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. I believe Jack Dorsey actually referenced in
But
his
what
statement that
pressure is he buckling to? What?
there's been multiple calls to not run. I believe one specific ad that has been brought up against Facebook, not Twitter, but one specific instance to kind of give some context. Let's see if I can pull the article up for you guys. Actually, there was an ad that Facebook ran. It was a Donald Trump ad that Facebook ran, talking about how
Is this somehow Orange Man bad?
well,
or like
not
what?
exactly, because it goes both ways. The idea being there were people pressuring Facebook specifically, but Twitter as well, to say, hey, there's some of these ads people want to run politically that are producing lies. And is that really terrifying?
Well, is this one of those things where Donald Trump spoke, therefore they call it a lie? Like, what lie? What's the lie?
I don't know why I can't find it here, but the gist of it is, it was an article by the Trump campaign implying that Joe Biden had committed a corrupt act instead of allegedly could have. You know what I mean? It's kind of mumbo jumbo.
So never mind all of the memes and the videos on Facebook and on Twitter that are constantly falsely accusing the president of having done something corrupt. The second we do it after the Bidens, Twitter is going to stop allowing political ads.
Zuckerberg at a spot to know, but I also think the other thing is,
I just don't have any respect for these people. This is
this is what I think might explain it. Well, here's the thing though, and this is not to be rude. Do you ever have respect for these people? You know what I mean? But
no, not for Twitter and their way they handle.
This could be another reason why Twitter's doing it. Okay, first of all, they already the king of this is Facebook. That's all
like
money
if
goes.
this is my only thing, Cody. Is look.
Can I show you something really quick? And I want to
okay.
Tell me if this,
man.
Tell me if this adds any context to why Twitter
Sure,
might make a decision like this. Okay. Article posted 24th of October, was last Thursday. Twitter stock plunges as company blames ad targeting problems for earnings miss. Twitter reported the third quarter plagued by product issues and advertising headwinds. Platform bugs weighed on revenue and ultimately led the company to an earnings miss on the top and bottom lines. The company warned shareholders that the headwinds will continue through the rest of the year and could bleed over into 2020. Foreseeable future, basically. Monetizable daily active users are growing and Twitter is upping capital investment. I think ultimately they realize we're going to have to kind of re-look at the way we do things here. And I think maybe one of the things looking at, like, why don't we get out of the out of the business of political ads, and we'll get into some other businesses here now.
Yeah, and the business of what that they're not already in.
Well, the idea is instead of monetizing users by maybe putting ads in their face, they want to find another way to maybe monetize users.
Yeah, what's that other way? Show me that other way. If not, this just looks like a stupid move where you're buckling to
but they're buckling to phantom pressure, in your opinion. You don't even know what pressure they'd be buckling to. You just insist they are. I mean, I don't know if that's
because come on, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So Twitter is obviously reacting to something. I want to know what that action is too. Ideas don't come out of nowhere.
They're pressure to not run certain ads that Facebook came up against.
Trump ads.
Not only Trump, there was also Elizabeth Warren ad that had to be pulled down. I believe in the Elizabeth Warren ad, it was kind of a stunt, and she said in the ad, like, Mark Zuckerberg did something he didn't do, and obviously Mark Zuckerberg didn't want the ad up, so he has to take it down.
But the only thing I don't get about this is,
yeah.
Okay, if you're trying to say Elizabeth Warren committed a faux pas because she blamed unfairly A person for B action, then on the same token, you could say, well, we're not going to allow Nerf gun commercials either because they unfairly claim that children will have big smiling faces and lots of fun and be super awesome sniper shots the second they purchase this one gun.
Here we go. Hold on a second. Here's the. Sorry, I was just trying to find it earlier from CBS News. I apologize for not being able to find it.
Okay.
This is a little bit more
This
context.
just like any reasoning that they could apply towards them outlawing political ads. To me, if intellectually honestly applied to any ad, we just couldn't have any ads.
Well, no, because that's not. They're speaking. Jack Dorsey brought up in his tweet, man. He said, "Look, well, it might make sense for." Like, Twitter isn't getting out of ads. It's getting out of political ads. It's not getting out of Dorito and Nerf ads.
Yeah, but any reasoning you
ads.
have to get out of political ads could be used to justify.
Okay. Maybe they could, but guess
Cody,
what?
Let me put it this way.
But it's a crap argument, dude.
No, it's not a crap argument. No, it's not a crap argument.
I'm not going to get too into it.
Before you just say it's a crap argument.
It's a crap argument.
No, it's not a crap argument because look at it this way. If they're reacting to some subset of people that are pissed about this ad, And instead of saying, okay, we're going to make sure more ads, we only run ads that are provable or verifiable or truthful, we're just going to outlaw ads altogether. Well, what do they do when the Consumer Reports people come after the ads put out by toy companies?
Hold on, can I
and
tell
the
you-
PETA
wait,
people
you're-
come out about ads put out for meat products.
It's a
Are they
crap
just going to have to
argument
start
because-
outlawing all these
No.
different genres
It's
too?
it's a crap argument because you just made up the fact that they banned it due to outside pressure. Jack Dorsey doesn't mention any outside pressure.
Okay,
he
then
says we've made the
he
decision to stop.
You're trying to convince me that he woke up this morning and says, I want to tank my stock prices and I want to get rid of 10 to 20% of my ad revenue during November through February by just, saying no more political ads. There's no way you're going to convince any of our viewers that was not motivated by pressure from without.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, the pressure from without probably came a week ago when their stock prices missed quarter marks and they had to go to their investors and say, for the foreseeable future, it's going to be bad. I think that's when the pressure came, and I think this was a knee-jerk reaction to that. The things are being bad, we're going to try to reshape things and go about things
So that's the
differently.
business answer, is saying, hey, when things are bad, what we're going to do is restrict our ability to make money 20%.
I don't know, dude. I can't tell you what they were saying in the back room.
Okay,
all I'm
yeah,
saying
I
is,
don't know.
all I'm saying is basing your entire premise off just an opinion of yours that's not proven is probably not the best way to go about it. According to Jack, there was no outside response. They made this decision internally and said, "Hey, look, guys, this is what we believe in." I believe in his quote, he says, "We want to make sure reach is earned and not bought." Something along those lines. You could disagree with that. I'm just saying this wasn't. Facebook was the one getting the outside pressure, and they all honestly didn't.
If not
Mark
from-
Zuckerberg said, "I'm not going to get in the business of policing
If
speech."
not from
So that's the
outside
thing.
pressure, it at best just seems vaguely idealistic, almost too hippie for me to think that you're smart enough to be the guy that ran this awesome company. So at best, it seems like foolish. At worst, just seems cowardly. So I don't know. It's somewhere between foolish and cowardly. Or stupid.
Like I said, I think it's part of some plan. We don't know all their decisions behind the scenes. I don't think it's
Okay.
good either. I agree. They're probably giving up money they don't have to. But I also, like I said,
Exactly. They're giving up money.
But the assertion it's due to outside pressure, that's just an opinion. That's not true. We don't know that. It's probably due to a combination of things. Probably due to maybe trying to take a different approach to the marketing season for this election. I don't know all of it is. By the way, before we wrap up all the way, I do want to keep a note here that they do. Here we go. The ban on political ads takes effect November 22nd, with a few exceptions, such as ads that encourage voter registration. That, I think, is going to be the key word there. They're probably going to aim to get similar revenue numbers just through
But
different.
then couldn't Joe
through
Biden
different
just say,
ways.
voting is so important for our republic, and I'm putting
Probably, yeah. So the exceptions clause is
Joe
stupid.
Biden for voterregistration.com out there to make sure that you can go vote. Then
He probably could. It's one of
that
dumb
literally
too.
is just
Yeah.
a workaround to have political ads.
I don't like that. I don't like the exceptions. I agree. There's two solutions to policing political speech. There's, look, on our platform, we don't accept political ads. That's one way. We don't police it. There just isn't any. Two is, look, we don't police it. You pay us, you can run it. I don't like the idea of we're going to ban 90% of political ads because, like you said, what if candidates weasel into them? Like Mark Zuckerberg said, it doesn't make any sense to be able to run like, oh, we're going to allow ads that advocate for climate change in a certain way. It's like, what why can't the candidate who's running on climate change run his ad? It doesn't make any sense. So I agree, man. I don't think it's a smart decision. I just want to make sure it isn't necessarily proven it was outside pressure that forced it. According to Jack, it was something they came up with and they said, hey, look, we don't want to be in this business anymore.
Well, Jack is shadow banned and is not doxxed, but is deplatformed and done all kinds of other silly stuff, as seen on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well,
with
that is
Tim
a scary
Pool.
thing, though. I want to bring up.
I don't know. I don't trust Twitter. I don't
Okay.
trust Twitter to be operating. I don't know. Whatever. I think I've said my case on this. I don't trust these people over there. The government, the DMV, and Twitter. They're on my list of I don't trust them.
Okay. Well,
Actually, our DMV is not bad
okay,
around
again,
here.
I think something like this uniquely benefits a candidate like Andrew Yang. One, all the money goes to Facebook anyway, so it's not like it's like, oh my God, all my money went to Twitter. Where does it go now? It all went to Facebook in the first place.
Well, that also
Two,
blows my mind.
He already has a big Twitter following, so the fact that you can't pay for like Andrew Yang probably isn't getting that far with paid Twitter ads anyway. He is so good without them.
Well, that's the other thing that also blew my mind about this data. You're telling me that between Google and Facebook, 8 out of 10, with some candidacies 9 out of 10, some of the smaller candidacies 7 out of 10, but anywhere between 70% to 90% of the money that I donate to a political campaign inherently becomes income to Google and Facebook.
Tom Steyer, you know what?
Like, holy smokes.
Tom Steyer, Mark Zuckerberg owes the DNC a big one for letting Tom Steyer run and pump all of his money. If you look at Tom Steyer on his graph, it's like, I think literally 90%. All of the money goes to Facebook. It's crazy, man.
I mean, that is absolutely nuts. So they're like arms dealers that found a way to sell guns to both the Axis and the Allied powers in the same war. They're like Argentina. Here's an Argentina reference for you.
Geez.
Argentina sold honey, wheat, sugar, and dairy products to both the Axis German and Italian side.
Secure the bag, man.
Yeah, while they were selling to like, embattled and impoverished France, United States of America, and England. They literally had to ration their own people's dairy intake because they were selling to both sides of World War II. So Facebook and Facebook and Google have figured out how to make money off both sides fighting each other. It's a crazy arms race where data is the new weaponry.
Oh yeah, and I think again, if we do start seeing more moves to ban certain outlets of advertising on social media, I think we're going to see candidates like Andrew Yang again shine. Not only Andrew Yang, again, Tulsi Gabbard does pretty well. Bernie Sanders has a lot of support online, but if you don't have that grassroots online movement and platforms like Twitter continue to just ban that, it's going to be tough for some of these candidates to get ahead. Like if Tom Steyer couldn't buy his way into the discussion, how would Tom Steyer have organically found his way to the social medias? You know what I mean? Like if he couldn't buy his way in, how would he have done it? So that's my closing thought on this is it is going to, if done by everybody, create a wall. But again, I want to make sure, just kind of keep in mind, a lot of the money's going to Facebook. A lot of it's going to Google. Twitter has not been getting all the advertising money. So I think Twitter has not been the place to advertise on for many reasons for a while. Anyway, not even, consumer goods love advertising on Twitter. They prefer Instagram. I think that's another reason why Facebook's so big. I believe that counts Instagram as well. So
yeah,
that's all I got to say there.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you haven't had a chance yet, please like and subscribe or share this video. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you in the next video.